Just left the final aid station, 25 miles to go. I can confidently say that I will get there now after everything I've been through. Nothing's gonna stop me from crossing that finish line. Going about 3 miles an hour, 3.5 miles an hour. Gets me in just before midnight, so that's my goal. It's snowing, and I'm never coming back. This has been the hardest, most difficult run I've ever done. Running on snow absolutely sucks. And I just had no fun out here.
My name is Mark Dowdle. I'm an ultra endurance athlete, and I'm going back to the Arrowhead 135. I grew up in Northbrook, Illinois. Growing up, I was a sporty kid. I was always playing different sports, football, basketball, baseball, got into lacrosse in high school. I think the best way to describe myself would be someone who just loved the adventure, going out and doing something active. I remember being a young child and either being outside or being in the hospital because I was always getting myself into some type of trouble. So I always craved competition, I always craved activity, and that is something that I was always drawn to from an early age.
Need last few minute items. It wouldn't be a Mark race day if it weren't for doing things last minute. That's just how we roll.
Howdy! I never wanted to go back to Arrowhead. I had made up my mind that I was finishing it with the intention to never come back. And that next morning when I woke up, I knew in my heart that I was going to come back, because whenever there's a challenge that heavy, there's something about me realizing I overcame the challenge, the depth of that challenge, while I was at my weakest. And I had this desire to go back and give it the respect it deserved in the training, in my weightlifting, in my running, in my preparation mentally, to see what was possible with all of that behind me. With that experience, with that humility, with that preparation going into it, what was I capable of accomplishing at Arrowhead when I had all of the right mindset and technique and training going into it. Oh. Okay, this is what makes Arrowhead a little bit different than other races, because there's only 3 aid stations. And we're in the middle of nowhere. You are required to bring a list of gear that, in the case something goes wrong, whether that's a storm hits, you get frostbite or trench foot, you're stranded out there, you just want to quit and be done, and you're waiting for one of the volunteer sleds to come pick you up. You have enough supplies to support yourself until that help arrives. Last year I finished 4th. I was 5 minutes behind 3rd place, 20 minutes behind 2nd place, and just about 4 hours behind 1st place. So all of the complications, all of the feeling like I was the weakest I'd ever been in running in my entire life, and I was 4 hours shy of winning the race. So that was also motivation for me going back into this year, thinking about if I was more intentional with my time, if I was more intentional with my time at each rest stop and aid station, if I did the work in the training leading up to it, how could it have been different? And that question just kept repeating back into my mind over this last year of like, if I do what I need to do, if I do the things required in order to show up battle ready, then what's possible? One of those races where I can't forget anything. And do this. Look at that.
Yeah, handy. Look how handy.
Look how handy.
My name is Lucy. I am Mark's wife, and I am also his crew. So last year, I was in International Falls with Mark for the Arrowhead race. And it was weird for me because usually with the backyard ultra last person standing races, I see Mark every hour. I can help him, I feed him, I do everything for Mark except the running. So this was actually the first race that I have not been to since meeting Mark, was this year's Arrowhead race. And I did not go because there's not much for me to do up there. So it's a different experience to not help.
Don't have too much fun now.
No, I'm gonna cry.
Alright. Let's do this thing.
Yeah, I saw your video online where you went through the race with all
the different things.
And you were in front of your computer, and
Yeah.
that was really helpful. I just want to say thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. I've tried to do my best to describe what I experienced out there, but
Yeah.
it's a hell of an experience.
Yeah, so you're running this year?
I am running it this year, and you might find yourself saying I'm never coming back, like I did
And then you
many
come back.
times, then you come back.
Yeah, awesome. Cool. All right, man. We'll see you out there.
Good to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
It's chaos. It's my insulin. I have a pot. I can pull out the... Brian? Mark. Nice to meet you, Brian.
Yeah.
We made it through check-in, and that was something I just... You know, you never know. You never know. Hey, Ken. How are you? Good to see you again. I know. I swore I would never see you again after last year. And
My first year was 2007. Never do we do this
yeah,
again.
yeah.
Oh well.
We're at the start line of the 135-mile race we're about to do tomorrow. Well, I'm about to do tomorrow because I'm the knucklehead that's deciding to do this. It definitely feels weird staring down into the abyss of what's about to come, because I know what is waiting for me out there. And I guess right now I'm not afraid of it, which is different than last year. Last year, the only time I saw this place was during the early morning of race day, kind of surrounded by chaos because the start line is filled with bikers and runners and skiers. And now seeing it in the calm of the day and knowing what to expect out there feels a lot less intimidating. And I'm hungry. I'm hungry to take down what is waiting for me out there, because it is only, no matter what happens, it's only going to make me a stronger runner and a stronger person. And who could be upset about an opportunity like that? I couldn't ask for a better opportunity than that, to be here right now, knowing that is waiting for me tomorrow. So let's get it on, baby.
Welcome to the 22nd Annual Arrowhead Ultra 135. Everything I'm going to say up here is very, very important. But what you need to understand, first of all, I want you to be safe. I want you to have a good time. you're not allowed to have any help, okay? So your wife, cousin, uncle meeting you at a road crossing can't give you coffee, you can't warm up in their car, none of that. You are on your own. Talk a little bit about self-rescue. One of the things that makes Arrowhead very hard, we're one of the 50 hardest races on earth. I would argue we're in the upper part of that 50. One of the things that makes it hard is there's very little help for you out there. Your first checkpoint isn't until about 36 miles at Gateway, 70 some to Mount George's, 110 some to Embark. So if you're in trouble, it's not going to get better. So please take care of yourselves. We will have snowmobiles out. We will have people looking out for you. You all have satellite trackers, so we'll know where you are. But please try to make it to a checkpoint, and please take care of yourselves. It's going to be cold enough that you can get yourself in trouble. So please don't do that to me. This is our 22nd annual race. We've had 466 foot finishers for a 48% race. 47 ski finishers, 47% finish rate, so by far the fewest finishes have been on skis. 847 bike finishers, 69% of all bikers. 1,361 people overall have finished. That's a 58% overall finish rate.
I'm making waffles.
All right, this was the last obstacle. Getting the tracker up and running. It's right here. It's very specific. It's got to be outside the bag, facing up with nothing covering it. And that thing's not going anywhere. So that's how you'll be able to track me. But you will be watching this after I race. Well, she works. It's go time. At the start line, temperatures were minus 25 degrees already. I remember being out there 10 minutes before the gun went off, the fireworks went off, just to make sure that I was seeing the field as it played out, as it started. And it was cold. I remember jumping up and down, just trying to get feeling going through my feet and my toes and my fingers. And I was ready to give it my all, ready to lay it all out there and really go on offense during this race. I'm 5 miles in, gone 5 miles in 1 hour. Feeling solid so far. I think I'm sitting in like 3rd or 4th place. But this is a beautiful view inside the trail. The sled is pulling pretty good. It's a bit heavy, but as time goes on, I'll eat the food inside and maybe dump some food at one of the aid stations.
ready to go. My objective is just to stay consistent, get to the first aid station getaway within the next 5 to 5.5 hours, and or 6 hours, I think. So we got 30 miles left. And just stay positive, stay focused, stay intentional. It is the perfect running weather. It's a bit cold. It's a bit on the colder side, but I already took off a layer, and now I'm just playing that heating game, that temperature game. Layers on, layers off, layers on, layers off. Opening the vent, letting myself breathe, slow down, and recognize this is a long race. You don't win this race in the first 30 to 75 miles, but you can certainly lose it.
I think it was around mile 20 where the race was starting to wear on me, and going from that normal, feeling good, feeling fresh, to now we're in race mode. And that's when some of those darker thoughts started to come in.
The first heavy wave of insecurity, of doubt, the demons, as I call them, have entered my thought process. They're just saying, you're not good enough. You're not good enough. That's all they're saying in my head. You're not good enough. We got you now. You're a disappointment. You can't do this. You can't accomplish this. That's what's going through my head right now. Those thoughts keep screaming in my mind because it's hard. Because it's already hard.
And I just remember thinking, it's go time. Like, I know this was coming, and I know that we can do this dance of doubt creeping in for the whole race, because all that matters is every step that I take is evidence that those thoughts aren't the truth.
No matter what, I'm finishing this race, you best believe it. But there will be that time, and these demons that are sitting in my head trying to trap me in a cage will realize they've locked themselves in the cage with me, and there's no longer an escape for them to get out. Okay, so you can keep talking, you can keep throwing these thoughts, these doubts, these insecurities. Just know I'm a madman. I'm a madman. You can be in there for the next 100 miles, but just know I'm still gonna be here, and it's payday. So have your fun for now, kids, because it's about to get wild.
And that's something about these races that I'm drawn to. It's that game. I'm not focused, when I'm out on that course, I wasn't focused on winning. I wasn't focused on beating the competition. Very rarely am I thinking about beating the competition in any of the races that I do. But out there, it's playing a game or winning a battle with those thoughts, those doubts that want to keep me safe, and me giving everything that I have. Because as the race progressed, as time goes on, it becomes more and more challenging to give more effort. But it doesn't mean that I'm not capable of doing it. It's just, what am I willing to do? I thought about willpower, that word, that phrase just kept popping up into my mind. Willpower is, what am I willing to do while I'm still able to? How much am I willing to give in this next step? Am I willing to run to that tree instead of walk to that tree? And every single time it became a choice. I always had the choice to do that. But was I willing to make that choice time and time again? And it's interesting because it's not a one-time decision. It is thousands of times. It is making that choice 100 times over, knowing that every time it's a little battle that you have to win in order to accomplish the goal you have. Welcome to hell! It has begun! It has begun. And my goal very simply out there is to just know at the end of the day that I gave everything I had while I was out there. Thank you. 39. I thought you guys said it was supposed to get easier. The first 36 miles are relatively flat all the way through to that first aid station at Gateway. I remember thinking around mile 20 how challenging that race still was at that point a year later. Last year, I had made a comment that there's a difference between tough and Arrowhead tough. And I had imagined those first 36 miles, knowing that it was flat, knowing that I could get a good jump on things, going a lot smoother than they did. And I just remember thinking in the back of my mind, like, oh, this is like welcome back to Arrowhead. This is still as challenging as last year. I knew that was coming, or at least I knew that that was a possibility. But I still was taken back a little bit by how challenging those first 20 or so miles became. I just took note of all these little things and wanted to make sure that I was getting out before anybody else.
Come back again next year, we'll find another way to amuse you.
I remember my handheld water bottles were frozen solid. And that was something that I thought about changing going into the next stint. The next segment was filling it up with hot water and just drinking it as quickly as possible in the first hour of being departed from that aid station. I remember being hungry and knowing that I was gonna have to fuel especially well at each aid station because it was difficult to get into my bag with my fingers being as cold as they were and trying to consume as many calories while also trying to push the pace as much as possible. I wanted to spend as little time out on the course stopping and taking time to rest and fuel up. That first aid station was a point where I was gonna load up and on fuel and food and hydration and make sure that I was ready to go for that next segment, which was like a 40-mile segment to the next aid station. Okay, 39 is checking out. Don't tell me all the good news. Have a good day. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Okay, just left Gateway. It's 3:21. All four runners got in just about the same time. I was there from 2:28 to right now, 3:21. So I left, I think, about five minutes ago. So it's like 45 minutes there. Took a little bit more time than I would have originally planned, but I was the first runner to leave. Wanted to kind of get a jump on that. Probably could have taken less time in there, but just trying to take advantage of everybody being there. Just get a few things tuned up. Dropped a little bit of weight by throwing away some food, did some additional hand warmers. So now we're ready to rock and roll. This is where the race really starts to begin. I've also been thinking a lot about Lucy, how much I love her. And when I'm in my darkest moments, I'm just thinking about her. Thinking about, I want to see her, I want to be around her. And the only way to be able to do that is by continuing to move forward, one step at a time. That's the mindset, keep going. No matter how hard it gets out here, I can always just take one more step.
Last year I was able to see Mark at the first checkpoint because I was volunteering there. And he came in and there's a quote of his saying, "There's hard and there's Arrowhead hard," or "There's tough and there's Arrowhead tough." So I remember hearing that right off the bat, that, all right, this is hard for Mark and it's also hard for everybody else. It's a tough race. And it was night. It was nighttime. And I was getting all my snow gear on to go do another volunteer shift. And I got a call from Mark as I was heading out saying, "I want to quit, I can't do this." And I just let him know that he can't, and it was also another reason to stay in. It's like, yo, I'm leaving. Like, if you come back, you're gonna be by yourself. I'm not gonna be here. So I think that was a, like, yeah, I gotta stay out here. So he didn't quit. We said no.
Around 10 p.m., I called Lucy to tell her that I just couldn't do it. She told me, "You can do it. You're not quitting. You gotta just keep focusing one foot at a time." And that's what I did. I'm hungry and I'm locked in. I know there's more valleys to go through, but when you're up, ride it with intention. It's 4:15, just hit mile 41.
As night one fell, the weather started to shift going into night one. Temperature started to drop a little bit, the snow started to fall, and getting to Mel George was like top of mind. Partly because I knew that that was the first opportunity to get real rest. I was noticing that I was creating a gap between the other competitors, so I was really trying to take advantage of that. And I felt really good coming out of Gateway. I think I was putting 5 miles an hour down pretty consistently. I was handling the hills very well. I think the mindset was just get to Mel George with enough distance between the next competitor so I could rest, be quick, and be out by the time that person even got there. The last mile going into Mel George's, you have to cross Elephant Lake. It's sort of like a bittersweet feeling because you know once you get open and out on the lake, you can't see Mel George's, but you know that it's there. But as you funnel your way to the opening of the lake, you can feel a breeze starting to build, and then it just hits you. once you get there. And every step, you're just getting blasted with wind, blasted with snow, and all you can see is these little stakes in the ground that are maybe 1/10 of a mile apart from each other. You're so cold. I mean, I was so cold going over that lake, but I knew on the other side of that was grilled cheese, soup, and a warm bed waiting for me. But it took a lot. My first thought rounding that corner was relief. I was also struggling. I knew I needed to get inside as quickly as I could because my hands were just so freaking cold. There were so many times out there that I was concerned with frostbite because my fingers were getting hard and going numb. I just remember coming into Mel George's beaten up. I put in a lot of effort going into that second aid station, and I was feeling it. I was feeling it with the cold. I was feeling it in my lungs. I was feeling it with the dehydration and the lack of food that I was taking in during that last segment.
Number 39. Oh, how's it going? Better than last year?
Better than last year.
Good.
I was going back and forth coming into the aid station, thinking about how much time I wanted to take. Was it 40 minutes? Was it 20 minutes? And I remember just settling on 25 minutes because I knew anything more than that wasn't going to do that great of difference. But I remember being greeted with a warm grilled cheese and just feeling like I was in heaven.
I'm gonna grab like 20 minutes.
That bedroom should be open up there.
Need 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Mostly.
I heard myself snoring a few times.
Good. What is there?
I was driving down the hills.
Yeah, it's this next section that's super hilly,
Yeah, so
right?
you're going to do that anyway.
Yeah, let's go.
I'll
Good
go
long
do my
hilly
stuff.
stretch. Is that Sean?
Sean! Let's go! Hi!
Oh,
Welcome!
I was so ready for a nap in the Elfin Lake cabin.
Welcome! Have a
Thanks.
seat wherever.
Okay, 39. So,
Alright.
thank you guys.
Thank you, Mark.
Appreciate it.
Keep it up.
Thank you.
Packing up my things, I heard somebody walking up, and I knew that they were a runner by the shoes that they were wearing. They were wearing tennis shoes instead of these big boots. And Emily, who was there helping fill up water bottles and food and just being amazing assistants to all the athletes out there, welcomed him by saying, "Sean, welcome." And so I knew Sean was another runner out there. But I knew getting out, I felt good and wanted to get moving as quick as possible because at the very minimum, I took as little time as I possibly could there, and it was an hour total. So I figured he would be there at least an hour. Leaving Mel George's is difficult because there's nothing really to look forward to for hours. You're in the coldest part of the night. I left there at 1 in the morning. It's minus 20 degrees. It's really looking and staring down into the cold, dark abyss. It's about 2:30 in the morning when I was starting to get concerned about my managing of temperature. out there. I couldn't get my hands warm, and I was moving at a slow pace where the momentum and the motion of running was not keeping me warm either. Sort of in the back of my mind, I knew that there was a trailside, wayside shelter 10 miles after Mel George's that I was kind of set on stopping at to reset one more time. Because out there in those situations, there's not much room for error. And when it's that cold, and when you're out there essentially all on your own, I had to make the decision, do I stop and get warm in my sleeping bag for 25, 30 minutes, or do I wait 7 hours until I get to that next aid station? Those are the decisions that are just hard to manage, because you're trying to race, you're trying to keep the distance, but you're also trying to survive. And there's an element that provides that sort of makes decisions out there life or death. And it really did feel life or death in that moment, where I was shivering, wasn't able to get warm in any way, and knew that my only hope of finishing the race was pulling off and stopping and getting fully in my sleeping bag, fully clothed, shoes on, vest on, everything, and just hunkering down until I got warm. I slept for about 15 minutes in the sleeping bag. Yeah, I think about this time it's getting close to 5 in the morning, and I get a text from Lucy that says, hold your spot, hold your pace. And I wanted to stay in my sleeping bag a little bit longer, but that was enough to get me up and moving, and knowing that the only way this gets better is by continuing to move on and going through the gauntlet, because sitting there and pouting or sitting there and taking more time is only going to create more chaos and going to create more problems for myself. So I reached mile 100. You know, the first thought that goes through my mind is, dang, I still have essentially 2.5 more hours out here until I get to that next aid station. And this is in the thick of it. It's the hilliest part of the course. And all I kept thinking about was maintaining consistency up those hills. I put it in my mind that nobody else would be willing to do that. Nobody else was capable of doing that. Whether they did it or not, it gave me enough encouragement and steam and momentum to keep driving forward. And creating that mentality allowed me to stay positive in those moments when it was the most difficult part of the race.
Thank you. Howdy.
It was a relief getting into Embark because of what it represented. It meant that the most difficult part of the course was now behind me. And checking the tracker, I was still 4 miles ahead of the guy behind me. I knew that I could do a quick turnaround and essentially maintain what I needed to do at 4 miles an hour to get to the finish line to put myself in a good position to win the race.
39.
39?
Yes, sir. Baby sack. Okay. Just let us know when you got any bottles or anything. You got hot water, cold water.
Hot water's fine because they're frozen,
Yeah.
and I'm just gonna drink them here.
Okay. I'm gonna ooh, yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I'll be gentle with them as I can.
Fingers were getting cold out there though. Just had to keep managing them, and got pretty dang annoying.
Being at that aid station was a representation to me of all of the work that I'd done over the past year to get in that position where last year I felt so defeated. I felt so out of the race. I felt so
It's pretty warm. It just.
broken by the previous 110 miles. And I felt good in that aid station. I felt confident and focused and ready to finish the thing off. And it was just a reset of like, it's gonna be grueling, it's gonna be difficult, but it's a marathon. And I've done that so many times in my life where I can do it one more time to make this a very memorable experience.
I'm heading out this way, right?
Yep.
Thank you.
I was maintaining an eye on the tracker because it was a tool, it was a key. It was a way for me to keep track of where the other competitors were in relation to me on the course. And as I left the second aid station, Mel George's, the halfway point, it became more difficult for me to breathe because of the lack of, I guess, intention I had behind protecting my airwaves early on in the race, and it came back to bite me. So putting down a ton more effort and energy into maintaining a consistent running pace became more difficult on me overall. And so I was very intentional about maintaining at least 4 miles in front of the next person because I had built up that lead. And I knew that if I maintained that the last 25 miles, that the person behind me, whoever it may be, would have to do something outrageous in order to make it a competition there at the very end. But every, 4 miles I was checking back in and I was seeing that there was no real push being made. And that's when I kind of knew that this was coming to an end very soon.
About 12 miles to the finish. I'm having trouble breathing. I have been since Mel George. I've got 4.5 miles, which is about an hour on second place. Now it's time to just finish this thing. Do what I came here to do. See you on the other side. Thank you. Holy. That quite literally took everything I had.
What's your bib number?
39.
39.
Mark Dowdle.
All right.
I imagined winning Arrowhead would feel better than this. But it feels horrible. Oh my goodness.
That's a line of the day.
Thank you.
I think people think I have this skill or this gift or an ability to do something that other people can't. It is me leaning into that uncomfortability. It's me leaning into being surrounded by doubt so much and proving to myself that I am stronger than the ways in which I don't know the outcome, the ways in which insecurity will fill in the gaps of the unknown. And I have learned that there is way more truth than just how I'm feeling in a certain moment. And so no matter how I feel, no matter what the circumstances, I always have a choice that I can make to take direct action. And so there's nothing like unique or special about me other than making the choice to do what everybody else can, but only few people choose to do.
I've done it.
You have done it, dude. Holy smokes.
Oh. I'm starting to lose cognitive function.
You were.
I am already. I feel horrible right now. I started to develop felt like I was breathing through a straw. Hi. Oh, that was so hard.
Was it?
Yeah, it was so cold too. I might have like bronchitis or something after that.
First place.
Got first place.
Did you know that?
Doesn't feel like it, but yeah. After the race, and a lot of the races that I do, people will text me saying like, never a doubt. Like never a doubt. Something I wish people understood more, and maybe the hope of this documentary, is that people understand that the entire race is nothing but doubt. It is overcoming doubt every step. And that maybe is the essence of why I do what I do, is because I'm trying to combat the voice in my head that tells me I'm not capable of doing what I'm doing. And I have a choice in that moment to take direct action and put evidence down of me doing the very thing that my mind is trying to tell me I can't do. And so when people say never a doubt, it's kind of funny because it's like I have never experienced never a doubt. Like I've never experienced not having doubt. And when people ask me, or like what I hope other people will take away from this, I don't care if you're a runner, I don't care if you go out in the extreme cold. I just care that you take action from this. And you find that space, you carve out that space in your life where you yourself are faced with that internal battle of really trying to understand who you are at the core. And when you're in those extreme and stressful situations, you are revealed to yourself, because all the masks, all the comfort, all of the excuses, those will all come swirling in. And you have a choice to make in that situation. Do you listen to that, or do you find a deeper drive within you to overcome that obstacle? And that's what the Arrowhead is. That's what these races are. It's overcoming time and time again that obstacle of you being the very person that you say you are. And that's what I do out there. That's why I love it, because it makes me feel so weak and humble. Know that I can find strength in that. I can find strength in taking another step forward when everything around me is telling me not to. When I have every justifiable excuse to everybody on the outside, I can still find a way to take that next step.